Well, good afternoon everyone. I thought seeing as I've now got the YouTube bug, I would try another video. This time I'm trying to do it on a tripod, so fingers crossed it doesn't all collapse on me. Well, this is the third year I've done December Daily or December Documented, and I thought I'd share it with you. So here's a little flip through of 2018's album. This is the third year I've done it in this pocket style. I've done lots of different ways before, but I found that I gave myself too much to do and I never actually got them completed. So this year, I'm proud to say, it's actually done. I've gone up to Boxing Day, but I've also got a special page for New Year's Eve. So I've used just a basic 6x8 album from Stampin' Up, and I've decorated the front. The materials I've used inside are a mixture of Stampin' Up, Mind the Scrap, and also the Hip Kit Club, the December Daily kit. So here we go. I've decorated the inside as well. I'm trying to keep it square on the camera rather than you, otherwise you'll all have a tilt in your head by the end of it. I downloaded a free calendar just to sort of pinpoint the important things I was doing in December. As you can see, it all gets a little bit manic towards the end, which is probably why I was ill in the holidays. Here's my hopes for the season page. As I said in my last video, we are buying a plot of land. We were hoping this would be our last Christmas in this house, but there's been such a delay, it'll probably be another couple of years yet, which is fine because I like the house we're in anyway. And as you can see, I love my craft room, so all good. So here we are, the first page. I've used a mixture of prompts. Some Emma put on the Mind the Scrap forum. I used those. And I've also then used some from Shamel Lane, and if I had something specific going on that day, I've documented what happened that time. I made it a bit easier for myself this year by preparing lots of the pages ready, so that when I came along then I needed just to put the journaling on and pop photos in. So as you can imagine, in school, December starts very, very early. Christmas things start early in December, and we actually choose our nativity that we're going to do way back in November. This year we did Born in a Barn. That's the one I talked about here. I've sang those songs so many times. This one, Izzy and I now, Izzy is my mum's dog, but she spends lots of time with my husband and I as well. I like to take her to Pets at Home for her to choose her own present. The problem is that once she has found it, she wants to carry it in the queue. So for a few years now, she's gone for Squeaky Pigs, and the customers do look a little bit strange at me when we're standing in the queue and I'm waiting to pay and they can hear a pig grunting. She did fancy the Brussels sprout, but it was almost the same size as her head, so I talked her out of that one. There we go. So as you can see, some days nothing much happens. It's just a daily routine. But I put my wish list there. One of the prompts was to talk about traditions, and one of our family traditions is to watch all these different films then over the Christmas season. I talked about the cards I'd made. This day was a little bit poignant because a very special friend of mine is very, very ill with cancer, and I want to talk about how blessed I was to be fit and healthy, and how really we shouldn't take things for granted. This was about our Christmas night out. I took a photo of the tree, forgot to take a photo of myself and Lee. A few of my favourite things. Izzy again, we'd gone for a walk up to the plot of land that we're buying, and she loves to jump on rocks. This one, we had to talk about fun in the snow, and luckily enough, on my time hop, there were the photos of a year ago to this date, when we had very, very heavy snow. I can remember the panic of it because it meant we missed our dress rehearsal in school. So our nativity was a bit of a shambles then. This was our grotto in school. This was when we went to see Lee's family to exchange presents, as his dad was off to America for Christmas. This was when we talked about when I took my 16-year-old nephew buying his Christmas presents. Shopping for clothes with a 16-year-old boy is a real eye-opener. Now I usually struggle with these 2x2 pages, hence I've got lots and lots of these page protectors left, but this year I thought I'd challenge myself to use them, and I've actually really enjoyed it. They weren't as scary as I thought. This was the day of our first performance of Born in a Barn, and here's my nursery children all dressed ready, and I took a photo from behind just so that I didn't show the children's faces. Christmas jumper day, I thought I'd be very, very classy and subdued and wear one with lots of flashing lights. It was quite funny because another little girl in the juniors had exactly the same jumper on, so her and I posed for photos all day long. This was when I finally got around to putting the Christmas tree up. I'm always really last lap. I love the tree when it's up, but I also like to see it go down. I lost my sister and my dad. My sister 14 years ago and my dad 5 years ago, but to remember them I have special stars on my tree made by a very talented friend of mine. Santa, I've got a real thing for Santa ornaments. It's so nice, I find, even though some days is harder than others to make sure your December daily is done, when you look back through then, a few months later or a couple of years later, you see all the lovely memories coming back to you, which is the reason I started scrapbooking. Another one of the pages, and I used my fuse tool then to make sure the embellishments and the sequins didn't fall out. Christmas party day, when we had a playlist on YouTube of dances for them to do. For this one, a little boy in my class, his mum made me this little knitted wreath, and I thought that was an absolutely perfect embellishment for my December daily. Our craft club party, I run a local craft club in the area, and we always have one just before Christmas where we all bring Christmas nibbles, so it's all about crafting, eating, chatting, and it was also the last day of term, which was an even bigger celebration for me. This was Christmas park run. I do the park run, I do quite a bit of running, but sadly I do quite a bit of eating. So I need to work extra especially hard now in the new year again to get the weight back off. So here we are. We all then went for breakfast after it. 23rd of December is my mum's birthday. We went to see Mary Poppins Returns. So I've kept the tickets in there just to remind me. Every year we go to see something different. So Christmas Eve, Izzy had one of her sleepovers and we went for a nice trail run. And as you can see, it had been rather wet that week, so she was rather muddy and had to have a bath, which is her most hated thing. This is Christmas Day. She was the first one to open her present. Here she is trying to get her squeaky reindeer out of its box. I don't know about you, but I always forget to take photos on Christmas Day. So this year I did manage to take a few of the presents, none of the people at all. So here's Boxing Day. On Christmas Day I wasn't well, and it continued on Boxing Day. We should have done a 5-mile race, but sadly I was really poorly, so we didn't. So for the first year I haven't documented past Boxing Day. Apart from New Year's Eve, I've got the page ready. We always do. There's a race local to us, a 5k race called the Nos Galan, which has been going on for many years now. It used to be run at midnight throughout the streets of the town, but now it's at a more civilised hour of 7 o'clock. This will be the first year that I'm dressing up to do it. Myself, Alid from school and my husband are all dressing up as jockeys with inflatable horses. So I can't imagine I'm going to get a PB this year. You never know, I might get a PB and it could be the thing to do at all races. So I hope I haven't flipped through too fast. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'd love for you to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you. Hwyl fawr, take care.